Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Talking Fitchburg on this first day of September. That's right, Tuesday, September 1st, 2020. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Hope you had a wonderful day. Glad you're here with us here today for Talking Fitchburg. We got a jam-packed show for you today. A lot of headlines to get to here in just a little bit of time, and two great guests. We'll check in with Adam Dorn. We're talking about fire safety in the home today, and we're checking in with Andrea over at Hy-Vee. We're going to be hitting the road, in fact, and we're going to be talking about chickpeas. Yeah. I had never, ever been in the presence of even those being cooked. And I'll tell you, today's recipes are amazing. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And I'll tell you this, I bought chickpeas right after the segment. So that's all I'm saying. Have I done anything with them yet? No. But will I? You bet you I will. There's a really good appetizer that she's going to make. I mean, plus, I don't want to give anything away. There's so many good things coming up. So We'll stay right on track here and get into your headlines. And let's start with the lane closures here. One more day of lane closures. So we had one today, and it continues tomorrow. This is on McKee Road between Fitchburg Road and Nesbitt Road, and they're from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Wednesday is the last one. Crews will be paving concrete curb through this area, so watch the road ahead and leave plenty of room to brake. Information on the County PD construction activities can be found at the Project 511 website for Verona Road project, which is on your screen. So this has been a 3-day project. We'll wrap up tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. with that lane closure. All right, September is National Senior Center Month, and this year's theme, well, Senior Center, delivering virtual connections. Delivering vital connections. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Thank you, Andrew. This year's theme was chosen to highlight how senior centers deliver vital connections to support older adults aging well. Preventing social isolation is vital and a core senior center mission. While the delivery methods have changed during the pandemic, centers have succeeded in continuing to provide knowledge, programming, and resources. During Senior Center Month Showcase, your senior center is vital and role in the community, prompt a positive image of aging, and create interest among prospective new participants. And the key words here for the celebration: mind, body, spirit, and community. It's important reminders to take a holistic approach during your celebration. And make sure you share these great ideas here. And they've given those ideas there on just how senior centers can do this. This is coming from the National Center of Aging, which is pretty cool there on sharing that campaign. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on at the Senior Center all this month. In fact, I've got one for you now. How about the Friends of the Fitchburg Senior Center Dine Out fundraiser? That's happening. That happens tomorrow. Yep, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Stop out for lunch or dinner and support the Friends of the Fitchburg Senior Center. 25% of the profits go directly to the Friends. Curbside pickup is available, and dine-in or patio seating is also available. So if you're coming on out or looking to go out to eat tomorrow, may I suggest you stop by Benvenuto's right here in Fitchburg. All right, did you know that the Badger Prairie Needs Network serves all of Dane County, and you may visit the pantry twice a month? Yeah, this is pretty cool. To help with the registration process, each household needs to do the following: name of the head of the household address if available, phone number of individuals in the household by adult 18 and older, and children under 18 designation, and self-declared income range of high to lower for the TEFAP eligibility. Individuals who are homeless, undocumented migrant workers, or victims of domestic violence are exempt from providing ID documentation. And they are open Tuesdays 10 a.m. to noon, Thursdays 11 to 6:30, and Fridays 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Yeah, right in our backyard there. Doing a lot of great work over there. And we want to make sure to keep on passing that along. All right, this month is Preparation Month in Wisconsin. Get prepared, folks. Yeah, today marks the start of Preparation Month, or Preparedness Month in Wisconsin. A proclamation from Governor Tony Evers calls on everyone to take time this month to make a disaster kit and a family disaster plan while learning about how to stay informed about potential threats. I think given everything that's gone on with this COVID-19 pandemic, I would really, really highly suggest that you do work on some type of kit and disaster plan. If you've never done it before, there are a ton of resources on the Ready Wisconsin page. And in fact, we'll share the link to this, and there is a link that'll get you to some preparedness information. So please, please, please take advantage of doing that if you can. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up the digest. We're talking with Adam Dorn from the Fitchburg Fire Department on fire safety in the home. That's next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
Behind every 2020 census taker's mask is a friendly neighbor. They're teachers, retirees, vets, people committed to doing right by getting the count right. If you haven't responded yet, they'll be stopping by to ask some simple questions that will inform how billions in federal funds are spent on local services every year for the next decade. So when they come knocking, say hi from a safe distance and do your part to support your community. Time is running out. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from Fitchburg Fire Rescue, it's Adam Dorn. I call him Dorn. Dorn, how you doing?
Great. How are you, Jeremy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for helping with the countdown into this segment.
Not a problem.
All I'm going to say. Dorn, today we're talking about fire safety at home. As more people are working from home now and being at home more, we've seen an uptick in fires, unfortunately, not only in Fitchburg, but across the state of Wisconsin and even the U.S. And today we're going to focus on some training at home, some safety tips at home. And you're like, well, you guys have already done this. Well, in some ways, yes, we have probably crisscrossed this many times. However, given the pandemic, we might not be totally thinking about fire safety. We might be thinking about other things going on, happening around us. So what a great time. I've told my staff this, that I've always talked about making a safety kit and never had done so. And I finally did it as the COVID-19 stuff was developing. I'd never built one before and put one together because I think it was a rude awakening with what had happened early on with trying to get stuff that you needed. And so I'm making sense here that pulling this all in together, making a plan is definitely the big piece, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Adam, as we take a look at this safety plan at home, what can we include as part of that plan for fire safety?
Yeah, absolutely, Jeremy. Like you had said that, having a plan is the best plan. Having an idea of what you're going to do, that's the best way to make sure that you're going to be safe along with your family. So start off by evaluate your living situation and take that into consideration. Who lives in the house with you? What are their capabilities? What are their limitations? What can they help you with? That kind of stuff. And what do you need to help them with? Start there. And it's very important, especially now when kids are going to be at home again, when they start their learning from home. Make sure that they have an idea of what their home fire safety plan is. We kind of got thrown into that in the first half of this year when school shut down and everybody was starting to learn from home. And we're just like, okay, we're doing this, but now it wasn't really thought of as far as what are we going to do? How does this work? Because they're normally not home during the day. So some things to think about that everybody in your household needs to know about your plan when it comes to fire safety, and they need to practice evacuating the home. They need to practice getting out, because if they don't practice it, they won't know what to do when the actual incident takes place.
Yeah, and Adam, would you recommend doing this at different times of the day when you're doing a practice? You always see funny videos of people doing this at the middle of the night to see if their kids will actually wake up with a smoke alarm. And surprisingly, that's always the case, that they wake up. Some kids haven't even ever heard a smoke alarm in their house go off. So how do you practice that with the young ones?
Yeah, great question. The best thing I can suggest is to practice it throughout at all times of day or night. Give them that idea, that it can happen at any time. Because if we only practice it at night or only practice it during the day, they won't know what it's going to be like some other time. Practice it when it's raining or snowing, and you got to go outside when it's whatever the conditions are. That's something that's hard to overcome at times, but it needs to be done. As far as how to practice waking up to that smoke alarm if you're sleeping at night, there's no real good way to do it, but if you have one, you can take the smoke detector and press the test button. That's the best way to do that. Make sure that they work. And if you do this once a month, you're actually taking two things out with one stone here, because you're not only testing your smoke alarms, you're also making sure you practice your escape every month. And when you do that, make sure that you have working batteries in your smoke detectors. That's one of the biggest things that we find in the fire service, is that the batteries either are not in the smoke detector or they're dead, right? They're just don't work. So make sure they know what they sound like. Make sure they know what to do when they go off.
Yeah, absolutely. Super important. I've done it once with my daughter, and I'm going to do it again here real soon with my son too, because he might actually hear the noise. At least he might wake up and cry or something to wake us up if it were to happen at night. The 2 ways out, knowing 2 ways out of every space, it should be included in your plan as well, and even with helping others to get out.
Right. Yeah. 2 ways out is very important, because if your main way to get out, or the way that you always use to get out, is blocked by smoke or fire or whatever it might be, you need to know right away what your second option is. And a lot of times people are very habitual, where they only go in and out of a store one way, or they only go in and out of their workplace one way, or their school one way, and they forget about the other places that they can go in or out of their house. It's the same thing. So make sure that you know 2 ways out. Make sure that you understand who needs the assistance to get out. Sometimes families with young children, they need assistance. The younger children need assistance to get out. Maybe they're still in the crib. Somebody needs to go get them to make sure that they are okay and they can get out. The other big thing is that once you're out, make sure you know where your meeting place is. That's a huge one. If you don't have a meeting place, you need to establish that and make it somewhere where people can see you, especially the firefighters that are coming to help. I always suggest out in front of the house somewhere close by. If it's not directly in front of the house, your house, maybe it's right next to it, like right next door or at the lot line, but somewhere where everybody can see that when we pull up, we know people are out. That's a huge one. And then once you're out, call for help. Don't worry about calling for help if you're inside and the smoke alarms are going off and you have smoke and all this other stuff. Best thing you can do is get out first and then call for help.
Yeah, having the count on everybody to make sure that they are out, because that time would be dwindling really fast if you hadn't already. Yeah, the meeting place super important. I think that's something that, since I've been and we've been doing these together, something that I feel like wasn't always part of the talk, but making that meeting place has become something super important. And yeah, make sure that your kids recognize that spot and try to get to that spot by themselves. I mean, hopefully it's not in the road, but within reason, doing that. I know we've ran a PSA for the longest time of a dad and 2 kids running to their meeting spot, and for a test they did it as a race. To get to the sidewalk, into that spot. So you can make it fun as well. And I like this ending part of this is celebrate the drill with the family by some type of celebration or something that solidifies the importance of doing this.
Absolutely. If you can make this fun, the children are going to remember this so much more than if, oh, we got to do this again, or whatever else it might come across as. But if you can make it fun and that everybody is participating, they will remember that and they'll ask about, hey, can we do this again? Or can we have this? And make those things a reward for doing a job well done. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Big deal there. And Doran, thank you so much for sharing the tips today. We appreciate it. I know it's something we've talked about, but nevertheless, always important to really think about that. And I will talk about this 1,000 times over. If just one person puts a plan together.
Yep.
So please do that. And if you have any questions, you can always contact Adam Doran. He's got great resources out there. And the website, too, has great resources. And sounds like you're doing some updating to it, too. So
yes,
we'll watch for that. Doran, thank you so much for your time. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk real soon.
Thanks, Jeremy. Have a good day.
You as well. Adam Doran, Fitchburg Fire Rescue. Appreciate his time helping us educate you out there. And like I said, if you have any questions, give Doran a call. He will be happy to answer them, and tell him that Jeremy sent you. Then he knows that we're getting outreach here. All right, coming up next, we're going out to Hy-Vee, and we're joining Andrea Miller for a garbanzo bean extravaganza. You're going to want to stay tuned and not miss these recipes coming up next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg out at the Hy-Vee on Whitney Way, and that means we're with our favorite dietitian, Andrea Miller. Andrea, thanks for being back on the show, of course, and inviting us back over. That must mean we're doing something right if you let us come back. And you cook for us too, so I mean you demo stuff. No. So today's I laugh because I'm treating this as a new meal. You're like, this is on the major comeback. We're talking about the garbanzo bean.
Right.
Or chickpea.
Yes.
First, I want that explanation.
Okay.
Why is it two names?
Well, I don't know the answer why it's two names, but they can be used interchangeably. So essentially a chickpea is a garbanzo bean. So you can use them interchangeably. And then they've made kind of a resurgence. So you're going to see them in different products, and we're going to do 2 different recipes today.
Yeah, so this is all part of, replacing something out, finding something new.
Mm-hmm.
They come, and this is news for me, so I'll be asking you some questions afterwards. All the products here you see, they come in so many different ways, and you can use this in so many different types of meals, right?
Right.
Like, this could be a snack all the way to your dinner.
Exactly. You can have them at room temperature, you can have them cold, you can have them heated up. We're going to grind some of them today, we're going to roast other ones today. The products that you see there's some crispy chickpeas that are seasoned, so it's kind of like a snack. And then you can even find chickpeas in the form of pasta now, which there's 2 examples there. Puffs, and even chocolate covered.
And then there's this.
Yes, do you know what that is?
Well, I was going to go with egg yolk, because I was thinking I was going to go into something here, but it is not.
It's not, but that's very interesting you say that. That's called aquafaba is the actual term.
It is real. She proved it, folks.
I'm not joking.
Real.
It's actually the liquid from the cooked chickpeas or the stuff that's in the can, if you were to get canned. And you can use that as an egg replacer. So you can actually whip it with either a hand beater or a mixer, and it will foam up. And you can use it if you're allergic to eggs, or if you want to do a non-animal or a plant-based egg binder, you can use that aquafaba.
It does have that thickness.
It does.
It does. I mean, so if you're like me, what you see is what you want to taste.
Yeah, you're right.
It looks like it's right on there.
Yep.
All right, Andrea, I'm going to split, move off to the side, let you take your mask off. We're trying to continue to practice the social distancing, make sure. But we want people to be able to hear you as you work through these recipes. So I'm going to move out of the way, and you're going to get us kicked off with, I'm going to go with the snack side of things.
Okay, sounds good. So what we're going to do is, these are what the chickpeas look like out of the can. I rinsed and drained them. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a crispy chickpea. So I have rinsed and drained these, and I started taking off. You can kind of see this film a little bit, or this skin right here. That's just part of the bean. And so I took those off for this purpose. We want to get these dry and remove the skin as much as possible because they will be even crispier. So that's what we're going for this recipe, is to remove as much of the skin as we can, so you just get the whole bean, and as dry as you can.
I was going to say, Andrea, too, the comment that Scott made early on, what's the reason that you are told, growing up, to wash your beans no matter what?
Oh, so the biggest thing, well, one of it is there's extra starch on the beans, whether you cook them from dry or you cook them or you just heat them up from canned. And so the extra starch can kind of cause some digestive issues, with people. And so you can rinse that off and they digest a little bit better.
There you go.
There you go. So I did that already, and so all I'm doing is we're doing a high temperature, so 400, so you want to do a higher heat oil, like a grapeseed. If you are using olive oil, use the lighter olive oil, not the extra virgin that you use for salad dressings. And then just kind of sprinkle them with salt and give them a little zhuzh there. And then we're gonna spread them out just so they get nice and crispy on all sides, okay? So we're gonna take this and put it in the oven. And then I happen to have some all ready to go in here.
Yeah, and for those of you who can't smell right now because of the non-invention of smell-o-vision, it smells like popcorn in here.
It does smell like popcorn
really
in here.
interesting, throws you off.
Yeah.
But they look really good. Now, why are we seasoning them afterwards and not before we put it in the oven?
Good question. So chickpeas and most legumes have kind of a natural healthy fat to them. And so those oils, and in combination with the vegetable oil that we put on it, is going to kind of come out, and so they'll stick a little bit better.
Yeah, this just looks amazing.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a roasted nut, really.
Yep.
And you said there are many different flavors you could throw on this, really.
Yep. So what I'm doing is I'm doing some chipotle powder, just because I like a little spice, and some curry powder, just for a little bit of flavor. The other reason that we're seasoning after is the spices, especially because we're using ground, would burn in the oven.
Oh.
If we put them in with it, because we're like at a 400 degree, so they would burn. So we're just gonna do that afterwards, like this, mix it around, and there you go. So this would be a nice option to mix in with maybe some nuts, if you wanted to, because a quarter cup of nuts is really all we need for a serving. So if you want to add some of these for some volume and a different type of food, you could take these. And in general, chickpea all by itself is a nice balance of carbohydrate, protein, and healthy fat. So it's really nice and balanced in one tiny little package.
And we don't need a lot to meet our, as far as eating wise. So I'm a guy who likes to eat a lot of stuff at one time,
right.
But this it can go a ways, right? If we do want to scarf these down.
I'll give you a reference. If you do about a half a cup of a bean or a legume, it's about equal to an ounce of meat in terms of your protein and total calories and such.
Fantastic. Well, now you've already got us set up for the appetizer. Send us home with the hummus. And
yes.
You said hummus, and I was like, well, it's hummus, right?
Yes.
You're like, well, no, I'm going to throw a little twist to this.
That's right. We're going to make cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough hummus. So everybody's probably had hummus at this point. But garbanzo beans or chickpeas are the main ingredient in hummus, if you didn't know that. And you can really do any kind of bean if you wanted to. You don't have to use chickpea, especially because we're grinding these. But I did rinse and drain a can. This is some brown sugar. I'm going to put in about a quarter cup of peanut butter. But you could use any nut butter if you wanted to. Tahini is the traditional use in hummus. That's ground up sesame seeds.
I was going to say, what is tahini? But now I know.
Ground up sesame seeds, so you could use that. And then we're going to put in some salt and some baking powder, baking soda. And then either flaxseed or oats. Do you have a preference if you use ground flaxseed or ground oats?
Since we're already going crazy, let's go flaxseed.
Let's go flaxseed. So we'll do ground flaxseed. And then what we're going to try to achieve here is a nice consistency very similar to cookie dough as you know it.
And as you mentioned before, you've kind of You sure you don't want to use? What was the name of that juice again?
Aquafaba.
We sure we don't need any of that in this?
I don't think we need any Aquafaba juice in this.
Just making sure. We got a reference in since it's in this
mean,
piece.
I guess you do put eggs in cookie dough, right?
Well, I was gonna say normally this is where mom or dad would slap your hand and say you can't eat it. It's got raw eggs in it.
Right. So here we go. So there is an option if you wanted to do, if you needed to do some milk. We didn't need to do milk in this case because our consistency is good.
I was gonna say that didn't take long for that to achieve, I guess, your thickness here.
And I maybe even mixed it a little bit more than it needed to. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this with some fruit. So I have some apple or some strawberries over there, but you could do apples or bananas too. So I'm gonna, just like I do with cookie dough, I'm gonna hand mix my chocolate chips at the end. And you certainly don't have to use chocolate chips if you prefer pecans or almonds.
I was gonna say, as healthy-wise, dark chocolate are you using today, or
I am using
are you
dark
semi-sweet?
chocolate. I am semi-sweet, yeah.
Semi-sweet, there's the lack of knowledge I have in all chocolate.
So I'm just gonna add these in here, fold them in, like I said, as I would do traditional cookie dough.
You would never guess
and
that
you
that's
would
hummus.
never know that that's hummus.
All right, Andrea, you have done it again with an amazing hummus. I still want to see Scott drink this afterwards because it just looks interesting. So let's give this a try, and I'll tell you the texture here. So
yes.
First, the I don't know if you call it the appetizer.
So our crunchy chickpeas, seasoned with curry and a little chili powder, but you can do any seasoning you want, or just salt.
So I tried off air. You gave me some regular to try. Quite the difference. So all crunchy all through, and the flavoring. Yeah, you could even spice it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And hummus. Any other things you can mix with this specific cookie dough hummus?
Mix in terms of eating with it, or just to make it
for your dippers or whatnot.
Yeah, you could do banana or apple slices. Any kind of fruit works out well.
That's interesting. I love peanut butter, so that's a problem for me. But that's really good. Yeah, I can't even put my finger on that one.
Right.
You wouldn't even know. You really wouldn't even know that it is hummus. So that's amazing. People want to learn more about the garbanzo bean family or anything like that, and more with what you got going on. Where can people go?
They can reach out to me directly via email at andreamiller@hy-vee.com, which you will post. You could also go to hy-vee.com under recipes and search for chickpeas and get all different kinds of recipes as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm old school guy who likes steak and potatoes, but this is pretty darn good. And thank you, Andrea, so much again for cooking up some fun meals. And I said I'm going grocery shopping, and I will be adding the garbanzo bean to the list. So,
great.
All right, we'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today. I want to thank Adam Dorn and Andrea Miller from Hy-Vee helping us out today. We'll get those posted up so you can watch them again. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.